Meanwhile, this is completely random, but I got a ad for a credit card in the mail. So let's check this out. This is like the user's agreement here. So let's see here. And it's two-sided. Real small print. The size of this alone ensures I am never getting this credit card. That is insane. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Sean. Today I'm doing the In Your Wildest Dreams tag. I got this tag from Maeve Ever Books, and I guess the original tag creator was someone named Heather Reeds, but I do not have a link to her channel. But I'll post the link to the other one if you guys want to go check that out. I do encourage that. First, I want to show you guys a new book I got. I don't want to save this for a book haul video because I'm just getting fewer books, but it's Even Cowgirls Get the Blues by Tom Robbins. So Tom Robbins is a local author, like he lives in the town I grew up in. But it's interesting because he's a local, real popular author, but I've never read him. His most popular book, or one of his most popular books, is Roadside Attraction, which I have a copy of. That's like my dad's favorite book by him. But this book, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, is the bookstore owner's favorite book. So I've always kind of wanted a Tom Robbins signed book because, you know, he's a local author and all that. And I'm such a sucker for signed books. But all of the Tom Robbins signed books at the bookstore are all like $100 or more, even like several $100s. So that's just beyond my budget. For an author I've never read, I don't want to pay that much. So I was working in the back of the bookstore, you know, stocking books that are online, and this book was one of them. And I looked it up and I saw it was priced for only like $40 or $60. So I asked the bookstore owner, like, hey, why is this book like 40 or 60 bucks and all the other books are several $100s? And he said, because it's paperback. And, you know, paperbacks are just not as valuable as hardcovers. But that's not an issue for me because I don't get these books because I'm interested in the value of it. I get these books because I just want the signature. So, you know, I don't plan on like ever selling these books. So what'll wind up happening is I'll wind up dying and someone else will have to figure out what to do with all my books. And my concern is like they will look at books and they'll not see a signed sticker and they'll just think, oh, I'll just take this to the dump or take this to the thrift store or whatever. And I'm like, don't do that. That book is signed by Ray Bradbury. Don't take it to the dump. That is a historical item. It belongs in a museum. So yeah, someone will just wind up getting all my signed books for nothing. But anyway, so yeah, I kind of prefer like lower value autographs just because I just want the signature. I don't care about the value of it. So yeah, when I saw a $40 or $60 signed book by Tom Robbins, I wanted to get it. And this is the bookstore owner's favorite book. So why not? This is a good book to get for that price. So Even Cowgirls Get the Blues by Tom Robbins. I'm really excited to get that. Okay, but let's get into it. The questions on the In Your Wildest Dreams tag. Question 1. Your fantasy time and place to read a book. I don't really have one, I guess. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't really have an interesting answer for that. I just kind of read whenever, so there's no real special time or place that I think that I would want to read. Because, I mean, all of the places I could think of, you know, like, I could say like on a beach in Hawaii or in Las Vegas or whatever. But if I was in any of those places, I would want to do other things other than read. So if I'm in Hawaii, I want to go in the ocean or whatever, you know? Or if I'm in Vegas, I want to walk around all the casinos or just whatever. So there's really no time or place really I'd really like to read. It's just kind of whenever, you know, and usually it'd probably just be in my own room, in my own house or whatever, in my own bedroom, and because that's like my space. And so I guess that's just my answer. So I mean, that's where I read now. Question 2. Your fantasy personal library. The library from Beauty and the Beast. For my own personal library, I think what I would like is, so like if the door is here, I would like bookshelves on either side of the door, bookshelves on like either side of the corner there, another pair of bookshelves on that side, like closer to this corner, and then a like long pair of bookshelves behind me, and then maybe my desk is right here and my computer and I could do my writing, and there's books all around me. And I would also like each side of the bookshelf here on either side behind me, there are secret bookcases leading to a passageway with an hidden room containing even more books. So that would be my personal fantasy library. The wallpaper would be like a dark jungle forest green with maybe some like accentuating colors like yellows, browns, and maybe just a little bit of whites and blacks. But mostly the room would be very green, like a dark green, and browns. And I think that environment would just be a conduit for like creative juices. So I mean, that would just be a place that I would want to read and write in. That would be my sanctum. And it has to be green. I really want it to be green, dark green. I do not think there would be like books directly behind me though. I think there would be something else. So maybe there would be like, I don't know, maybe either like a flag or pennant of like Kurdistan, because that's kind of, I really have a soft spot for Kurdistan. I'm kind of Kurdish at heart. I don't know if there'd be a fireplace behind me, because I don't know. I don't know what would be down there. Maybe a small bookshelf, I don't know. Possibly a bird cage. So I don't know, because then that'd be weird, because I wouldn't be able to look at the bird. So I should have the bird probably in the front. But then again, do I really want a bird in the room when this is supposed to be my space where I could read or write in peace, and just having a bird squawking? So maybe the bird has a room of its own. So, possibly a fish tank. I mean, just the sound of just the sound of the fish tank going behind me, that could maybe be relaxing or soothing or whatever. And the fish could just watch me work. Question 3. Imagine you have decided to build a bookshop. What would you call it? Would it sell new or secondhand books? Would it sell anything else? What features would you want in that shop? Owning a bookstore would kind of be like a dream of mine, and it's kind of cool because I actually work in a bookstore, so it's kind of like I'm already partly living the dream. But I would probably call it The Last Page, because in a book series of mine that I have in progress, the Rose Creed series, she has a bookstore called The Last Page. So I'd probably call it that. I don't know exactly why I called it that, but in our town we used to have a bookstore called the Tattered Page, and I kind of liked that, but I couldn't use that. So I was like, well, what could I do that's similar to that? Not the Tattered Page. How about just like The Last Page? So that would probably be the name of the bookstore. I think it would have a mix of all kinds of books, but mostly some older books, because I'm just not so much a fan of all the current books. I mean, I'm not just a fan of those, and you could find those anywhere at like Walmart or Target or wherever. So I would mostly have older-ish books, secondhand books, and a lot of like nonfiction books. Basically, I would have like the bookstore I work at. I think I would also like it to have 2 stories, not 3, because 3 is kind of just bragging, really. So I think 2 stories, kind of like wraparound story for the second story. I think probably, I guess the bottom story should have like a spot where they brew coffee, just so the bookstore smells all like coffee. Maybe a place on the upper story. I don't know if that would have coffee as well, but maybe they also have like donuts up there, or bread or biscuits or something, some kind of food up there on the second story. And yeah, so that would be my dream bookstore. I think I would also have like a cage for a parrot or whatever nearby, like maybe behind the counter or something. So I'd have this parrot or whatever, not to be dismissive to Nibbler. I want a larger parrot, like an African gray parrot or something like that. But that would also be hanging out near me by the desk. And whenever someone buys a book, the bird says, "Thank you, baby." Question 4. One person, not a Booktube creator, with whom you can have a good conversation about books. If you don't know a person like this, who do you want that you wish would become a reader so that you could talk books with them? I really don't know. I don't talk to anyone really, especially like non-book related people. So I just don't have an answer to this. I'm sorry. Question 5. If you won $1 million and you could only spend it on books or book-related items, how would you spend it? Selfishly, I would say signed books. So, I mean, I would get a signed book by J.K. Rowling, a Harry Potter signed book. I'd try to get signed books by like Jack London, Mark Twain, Ernest Hemingway, I guess, John Steinbeck, Margaret Mitchell, I guess Stephen King, even though I don't really like him, Harper Lee. I do not have a signed book by Robert Jordan, so I'd need one by him. Oh, obviously J.R.R. Tolkien. So those would be like the two books I'd get first, would be J.R.R. Tolkien and J.K. Rowling. But that is a selfish answer, and you know, the thing is, even if I got all of that, then I would just die and those would go to someone else. So I mean, what good would that really do? So I think I would say that if I got $1 million to buy or spend on books, I would use it to buy books for like single mothers or like low-income mothers, low-income parents, for them to read their kids, picture books or whatever. I would get a lot of those, and also, you know, middle grade books for kids who are just starting out to read, because I think that is real special and important, is to I guess, I don't want to say instruct your kids to read, but to encourage them to read and read to them and then read with them and then have them read to you. I just think that would be real special and real good for the development of children, and also just for the bond of a parent to a child. I think that'd be real cool. So I would get books for low-income mothers and low-income parents. Anyway, so that is it for this tag. So remember, I'll post the link to the other video that I saw down in the description. So go check that out for sure. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see any other videos from me, I'll post a couple up here. So thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye. 2, 3, 4.